Welcome again to the Nerd Paradise Podcast with me, your host, Mark, and other hosts,
Matthew, Spawn of Hell,
and Harvey, your concerned citizen.
So, from where we left off just last week, we talked about Pokemon, I guess, and we did a little game, right? So, what we're gonna do now, I guess, is a topic that's really close to me and Matt also, is anime and manga.
Yes, more specifically, the big three in shonen: Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
This is where Harv takes a break, because he doesn't really follow that much.
I'll hand the reins to you guys for now. I don't have that much to say.
Well, you can think about your next segment anyways, which will be after ours, I guess.
Yes.
So, big three. If you haven't noticed, or if you don't know what the big three are in anime and manga, basically it's the Jump series, the Jump from the Jump magazine, Shonen
Weekly Jump.
Yes, weekly, which comprises of three main series. One Piece is the number one. Then number two is Naruto, and number three would be Bleach, which, in my opinion, now has slipped. If you've ever seen the rankings now, it is now number 5, but we still consider it the big three because of its history.
History and the fact that it's guaranteed to come out at the same time as the other two.
Yes. Now, we'll start off with One Piece. Matt, how do you enjoy One Piece?
One Piece is a really fun adventure. Great characters, great development. You can get really invested in the story, and there's never a dull moment, really.
Hell, if you have weapons like stretchy arms and boogers as bombs, I'm guessing those would be great. It would be a great story to blend in with. Not to mention, it appeals to everyone basically. You got the kid part where it's like you got the cute little animals, you got the funny storylines, the funny humor spots.
Yeah. Then you have, of course, for the teenagers, you got the action scenes. You got the fan service.
Oh,
so much fan service.
So if you don't know about fan service, there's one of the main characters, Nami. Basically, what the creator Oda has done with Nami is, after each arc, to show her growth as a woman, if you noticed, her bust size gets bigger and bigger each arc. Let's say that.
Inhumanly so, one could say. But we enjoy it. And then as for adults, you've got a good sense of drama going on.
Well, I'm sorry, we're having technical difficulties due to horny dogs.
No! We'll cut that out, but
This is what happens when you have a dog that
it's overly friendly.
Yes.
Remember, viewers, practice safe pet ownership.
Yeah. Bob Barker, fuck you. We spayed this dog. It's not helping.
Bob Barker.
Down. Look, there's your bone. Look, bone. Bone.
Yeah, Mark, bone. That's exactly what he wants to do.
Yep. Right. That bone. Oh, Mother Hover. He's. Oh, and he takes my spot. Okay. Anyways, he's calmed down for now. We'll cut out that part.
Or leave it in. It's good comedy.
Anyways.
Alright, so yeah, One Piece. Good fun, good adventure, good story.
And hell, who doesn't love pirates?
Do what you want, 'cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Continuing on.
Alright, next we have Naruto. Our little ninja friend. Somewhat annoying in the show.
Especially the English dub. Believe it!
God damn it.
Be glad that they eventually decided to keep that out.
Yeah. Anyways, now the basis of Naruto is this kid grows up in a ninja village. He wants to be a ninja. He wants to be the leader of the ninja village, which is called the Hokage. At first he's ostracized by the rest of the village because of one thing that he does not know yet.
He's got a goddamn fox demon in his belly.
Yes.
And apparently likes noodles a lot.
Now, what I have a problem with this series is the portrayal of ninjas, but we'll go into that a little bit later.
overall, it's not a bad series. It's fun. It's got comedy moments, but the pacing does tend to get a bit slow at times, and you do have the occasional problem where things happen where you can't connect it to other parts of the story. There were certain scenes in the last.
Well, what I didn't like is the focus of it, where at first you thought it was going to be all about Naruto and some subplots with his friends and the people who he's interacted with. If you haven't really read it and you continue going on with it, you find out that it starts to get a bit political and not something that... Well, basically it involves wars, and more wars, and political bullshit.
Yeah, well, if anything, I feel it's become more or less an allegory at this point. And the author is not strong enough to keep the allegory going well. He's good, but he should not be doing political commentary. Yeah, see? Winston agrees.
Anyways, it's good now. Well, the current chapters now are starting to get much better.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's stuff going on.
Like, before it was just lagging on.
And you can feel that it's heading towards a climax.
Yes, I like that part. Now,
speaking of climax, let's go on to Bleach.
Oh, yeah. Now,
as you can see, just speaking the name pisses the dog off.
Now, I have problems with Bleach.
Everyone that knows anything about anime seems to have a problem at some level.
The thing is with Bleach is... Okay, before I go on to that, sorry. We'll give you a backstory on Bleach. Bleach is about a teenage boy who gets... he sees spirits at first. Then as time then he meets Soul Reaper or Shinigami that gives him his powers to fight the Hollows, which are attacking
his town. Eventually, it goes on from there. We get to save people, and then a bigger battle ensues from there. It gets pretty good at times, but
here's the thing. Well, it got good until the middle, like the part where they go. Well, basically, it goes from I'll explain the arcs. The first arc, by the way, spoiler alert by any of you who started to read this or are going to read this. First, the arc, it starts off with
he gets his powers.
He gets his powers and he adjusts to them.
Second arc, he goes to save the girl that gets his powers, and in the process becomes fairly uberly powerful. And
by the way, this manga, I'm starting to think, is starting to get a bit more misogynistic, but you'll get the trend when we go along. Next part is basically where he saves another girl who is captured by
the big baddie of the series, or so we thought.
Yeah.
So it goes on where he has to gain more power. He meets new people, which just adds on to the cast list, which is, I believe, far too big for its own good at this point.
Now here, it's like Naruto in a way where it loses its focus, because as much as I love the secondary characters and the other characters, you should not focus on them more than the main character.
No, I mean, there are moments where you go for almost 20 chapters without a single appearance from the main character Ichigo.
I mean, not just that. I mean, at the start, normal process of a shonen manga is you have the main character and the other main characters who are his support, right?
Yeah, and you may have some supporting cast, but they'll rarely appear. They're more for exposition purposes.
Is the four that are his support are not shown again until later on, and even then they have less to do.
The problem is that they made the main character far more powerful than all of his support, so all his support kind of gets phased out because he can do anything the hell he wants.
For instance, when you during the first arc, I had so much emotional, like the backstories they did on these characters, like Chad, Orihime, Rukia, Ishida. They all had emotional investment because they all had backstories that I attached to.
Yeah, I mean, they all had their huge moments in the arcs. I mean, both Chad and Ishida tried to take on captains. Ishida did much better, but still. Or Hime had her own growth, and you learn more about her. The fact that she ends up being an accomplished martial artist thanks to her friend, which is a back character, but still gets some time because she is part of the backstory of both Orihime and Ichigo.
Now, I think when it gets to the Soul Society arc is when it starts to change, where you have the captains and then you have the other Soul Reapers come in, and they become the main cast now. And you got so many people, and then you just keep adding more characters that become part of the cast that you start to get diluted in a way. And you try to give everyone spotlight, which is not, it doesn't work.
Yes. No, we haven't even gone to the heart of the problem of Bleach, which is it should be done.
Yeah. My God.
About 6 months ago, the chapter featured Ichigo taking out the big baddie, the guy being captured, and Ichigo slowly losing his powers because that's what happened with him gaining the powers. He gets separated from the spiritual world. He can't see any spirits anymore. He becomes a normal teenager, and he should go on with his life.
Yes.
Sounds like a damn good ending.
Yeah.
He gets on with his life. He doesn't have to deal with any more drama, and he can go
and his
on
friends are safe.
Yeah.
Because the main baddie's gone.
I think that sounds like a good climax.
Yes. Well, when we talked before, this was way back, when it first that arc ended, we said, okay, they're giving it a 2-week break. They're probably just gonna try to figure out how to end it all.
Yeah, like they did with back then with Inuyasha. They did a month-long break before they did the epilogue chapter.
Unfortunately, that's not how it went.
No, instead they threw in another arc, which
brought in more cast that
had absolutely no real development, anyways.
You brought back some cast that had no issues,
and then you were, of course, dealing with Ichigo suddenly pining for his powers again, which honestly, at the end of the last arc, didn't seem like he was going to do. No, and so you get that, and the arc is fairly pointless.
No.
All it accomplishes is the fact that Ichigo gets his powers back, and apparently he's even stronger now.
No.
Honestly, creators, either you should have finished it at the Aizen chapter, or done it so he had never lost his powers in the first place. Instead, you got this, and now that arc's finished, he got his powers back, and now they're starting another arc, which God knows how long it's going to go on for. But supposedly this is supposed to be the final arc.
Sorry, I'm standing up at the moment because the dog pushed me out.
He's very territorial like that.
Anyways, it should be done. Now they're going into another arc, which is supposed to be the final.
Yeah.
And to me, right now, and a lot of people agree with me in what I call the IAC, the Internet Anime Community, that they're basically milking the series for all it's got until they die.
Yeah. Of course, then you got the diehard fans that still want it to go on because of stupid reasons.
Oh my God!
You've got these fanboys that go on about wanting to see the Soul King, and I'm thinking, there's no point. He's a looming figure in the background.
No.
Just mentioned occasionally.
But here's the thing. For the past few months, you've basically, years actually, you basically said, this guy is the main baddie. This guy is going to be the end all, be all. We're going to beat, as if we beat him, all problems are gone. You beat him already. He's in jail. By the way, spoiler alert again. He's in jail. That's it. We're done. No more.
Yeah.
Finata.
And then you add on another baddie, which really is not much of a threat as is.
It's just...
No.
And people want more?
No.
People want more?
Okay, it had its chance to go to sleep quietly. Now I just want it to die.
It's already losing its legacy. I mean, if you haven't seen it already, if you haven't seen the rankings, it's not part of the big three anymore. It's not even part of the top three. It's not even part of the top five. It is now 8th. 8th in the rankings. There's a reason why. You also look at the sales. Its sales have been declining after the Hueco Mundo arc. That's where it ended.
That's where it should have ended. I mean, anybody that picks up a Bleach manga after that, you might as well just be watching anime filler at that point.
You're holding on to hope that's not there.
You're not adding to the stories. You're not adding to the characters' emotional issues anymore. You're just milking it and giving these people more money. And if you do that, God forbid they think, oh, let's milk this even more and continue it even further.
Okay, you're bursting a vein, Matt. We got to stop there. Okay, we'll stop there.
I swear to God, if it goes after another arc, I'm calling the Ghostbusters.
Okay, we'll stop there. If you have any, by the way, if you have any comments,
questions, or anything, leave them in the comments. We'll read through them.
Hey, we'll get back to you.
Get back to you when we can.
We'll argue with you. I don't care. I'll go with you. You won't beat what I'm going to say because it's my opinion right now. You have yours, I have mine. You're not going to change what my opinion of it is.
You have a math guarantee that if you disagree with me, I will not kill you.
So, okay, we'll go on to the next segment. Wow, that was heated, wasn't it, Matt?
Yes.
Now Harvey can come in. He was a bit afraid there.
He's been occupied with the crazy dog.
I have returned unscarred. Don't worry, people. I would like to talk about recent nerd and geek culture. Specifically, the show, the very popular, the very successful, the very funny, The Big Bang Theory. What it has done for our culture.
Love it. Sheldon, Raj. You gotta love them all.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love the show. I think it's funny. Like a lot of new shows, I found that after it got rolling, it hit its funny peak. And it's been kind of declining a little bit since then. But I love it. But what I have to say is it seems to be, for lack of a better term, mainstreaming the whole geek and nerd culture.
And not in the way that it probably intends to. Like, yes, some of it does help nerd culture come out into the limelight. But then you have these people that like to claim that they're nerds.
Almost had a technical difficulty there.
Yeah, one that would have been very difficult to fix.
Okay, continue on.
Yeah. Okay, it does help nerd culture. You gotta admit that. It brings it to the mainstream. It lets people maybe expand their knowledge about things that they may not really follow. But then you have these people that suddenly claim that they're nerds just because they watch the show and occasionally hear a reference or two. Then they probably don't even get what the reference is going towards in the first place.
Okay, if you can't get a Star Wars reference, you're not a nerd. You're not a geek. If you can't get...
If you can't argue which captain is better, Kirk or Picard, you're not a geek.
I think you can't call yourself proudly. You can't wear the badge.
Yes.
But you can be a nerd and geek about different things.
You can state you are, but you can't, like, try to be like a mega geek over one other geek. It's just, it doesn't work like that. Sorry about that. We're having technical difficulties again.
We're just getting rid of our menace.
Well,
no, Harvey, just give him them.
I'll give it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat them.
While we wait,
keep him busy for a while.
I'd like to
just put him in his bowl, Harvey.
I'd like to say that this podcast
This podcast is brought to you by Winston, the dog that just keeps going and going and going and going.
Who also has some sort of sexual deviancy problem.
But we'll go into that in a different episode.
I would like to state my view here that it is one thing to be nerdy about different subjects and about something that you like.
Yeah.
You can be, say, you can geek out over your music tastes or different games you like or different history or art or tons of things.
For instance, I qualify as an otaku because of my geekiness towards anime and
Same here.
stuff.
But then with Mark, also, you have the fact that he's also a wrestling geek.
Oh, yeah.
He's obsessed with this stuff.
Sometimes ditch you guys for it.
Yeah. Harvey, on the other hand, he's obsessed with video games more than either me or Mark, I would have to say.
I'm quite a video game junkie, and probably my biggest vice there is what we talked
But
about
here's the
before,
thing.
Pokemon.
We don't always classify ourselves as geeks.
Yes. We don't walk around labeling ourselves.
It's just, that's our interest.
Yeah.
That's
It's part of our lives. We're not going to go around and say, "Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a geek."
I find it very funny right now that...
But there are people that go around and do that just because of Big Bang Theory.
Yes. I like to state, I think it's funny that we're trying to clarify why some of these people doing this are like hipsters. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but I think that some of that culture is stupid. That's just my thing. But
some of that even intersects. Some hipsters watch Big Bang and say that they're geeks.
Yes. But the way that we're qualifying things here, it very much can sound at times like we're being hipsters ourselves. It's all, oh, we were doing this before it was such a big thing out there, and before people were going around claiming it is all the time.
And while we'll admit that it does sound like that, and yes, it pretty much is like that, but at the same time, for us it's more valid because this is stuff that everyone could see but nobody was following. With a hipster, it's stuff that nobody follows and then suddenly becomes popular. So there is slightly a difference. Mm-hmm. So we can at least claim that difference. People saw nerdom, they just stayed away from it. With hipsters, they listen to music that no one listens to, and if it becomes popular, then they claim, "Oh, we listened to it first."
Mm-hmm. And if any, well, then again, it also comes back to the whole part when, basically, Big Bang Theory where it stemmed from, right? The movie Revenge of the Nerds. That's already portraying it in a light. It's a mainstream film, if I venture to say so.
Well, not even that film. I would go with Fanboys.
That too, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie that brought nerdom to the forefront with just showing 4 friends that go on a cross-country road trip so that their friend with cancer can see Star Wars Episode 1
I still found it
before it came out.
I still found it ironic, though.
It's ironic because that movie completely blew, but just a reminder.
That's one of William Shatner's cameos that
Fanboys was filmed before Episode 1 came out, so be aware of that, all people that understand that it's bad.
And there was if I remember correctly, also another cameo appearance in that movie by one Seth Rogen.
Well, not only that, the guy who played Lando Calrissian makes a cameo in it. The woman who played Princess Leia makes a cameo in it. The guy who played Darth Maul makes a cameo in it.
Again,
the guy who played Chewie makes a cameo in it.
But then it kind of gets shadowed by the fact that Will Shatner is in it.
Yes, well, Will Shatner brings it to a whole other level of geekdom. But we'll go into Shatner's role in nerdom some other time.
Moving back to Big Bang, there are some things that it does for us and kind of against us in terms of bringing nerds into the mainstream. What I find is it shows that, no, we're not all completely socially inept people who don't know how to function or don't have good hygiene or don't know how to dress ourselves.
Wow.
At the same time, it also can show, yes, this is very much possibly the case.
Overall, though, the hygiene thing it's fairly good with.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
the hygiene one, yeah.
Well,
they're all clean.
Sean takes a bit more further, but
yes, but either way, hygiene, at least they don't do any dirty nerd jokes with it.
Yes.
They don't go the low road with that.
One thing they do with their characters is they take some of the nerd stereotypes and they hyperbolizes it. Because Sheldon is exactly a complete exaggeration of the way that some nerds can be. Yes, yeah. Precisely.
Antisocial to an extent, doesn't know how to react in certain public situations. so forth and so forth. The way people think of nerds when they thought about it back in the 90s, a kid that locks himself in his room, is smart as hell, but just doesn't know how to react to other people in the real world.
Yes. Now
Then you have
Raj, which is an example of the nerd that can't speak to women.
he's more socially inept.
Yeah, socially inept again,
And
but more
women.
towards the women factor. But that is something I have a problem with, because more or less when you think of a nerd, you think of a guy that wants a girlfriend, and unlike many of guys in high school and such, will actually treat girls nicely.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Leonard character.
Yes, that's Leonard in a nutshell, but Leonard is also more of a parody of that, because he's too nice.
Leonard is
He's a doormat.
He's the personification of nice guys finish last until they cut him a break for a little while.
And then you have Howard, who's the
pervert that wants to...
If I were to classify him in a way, Snot from Revenge of the Nerds without the poor hygiene.
Yeah.
Really, I would go more for like the 21st century version of Screech from Saved by the Bell.
I would say Howard is
A bit of both, I guess.
Yeah.
A bit of both.
Howard is a very interesting example because he can't talk to women, but
He has this confidence.
Yes, unlike the whole nerd stereotype where people think we're very down on ourselves, he is blatantly confident in himself and goes out of his way to say and do just mind-blowing things and thinks it'll work.
Well, he was before,
which is funny
before the fourth season. He was more of the outrageous character,
Yeah.
along with Sheldon.
Yes, but they're opposite sides of outrageous. Howard's outrageous in he'll go out there and do something crazy.
Yes.
Sheldon's more the outrageous of he'll do something crazy, but it'll be just to his friends.
He'll do something crazy to avoid having to go out there.
Yeah. But then you got the funny thing with being that, of all people, Howard's the one with a fiancée now.
Yeah.
Which they portrayed as a very good character. What's her name? Bernadette. She's a little bit crazy, yes.
with small children.
Yeah. So,
There are some issues, being that there are certain things that she says and does.
yes,
that
and then
aren't
of
much
course you got the
towards mother.
whole thing with his mom, but
Oh, the mom thing was pretty bad.
we went with the Jewish stuff last time with the card game a bit much, so let's step back a little on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but besides nerd stereotypes, they play up a lot of Jewish stereotypes for Howard and his mother. And
not
How
just
about
Jewish
You
stereotypes.
got Indian
other
stereotypes for
Oh,
Raj.
totally.
You got Asian stereotypes every time they're in that Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
You got that black stereotype one time in that one episode.
You got the mama's boy stereotype with Howard, except that he doesn't get any love from his mother.
You got the gay stereotypes, especially in the beginning of the series, where they had that transvestite, not transvestite,
yeah, the transvestite ex-neighbor.
yeah.
Yes, there's that, but you still have the homosexual stuff with Raj and Howard, because they just do some really weird things that... Oh, I still remember when Howard made the kissing machine.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
Which
Which is funny, because it's kind of shaped like our mic.
If you don't, oh God, yeah, you're right. Oh damn, just.
Oh God, and our mic is called a snowball, and if anybody's ever seen Clerks, you've just had your mind blown.
And yes, we are playing a Kevin Smith episode.
But yes, one thing the show does is each of the characters, they are good people, like down to the basics, and they have redeeming qualities, but in some ways they're all pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
Which you can say is true about anybody, no matter what string of life you're from. So it portrays nerds as other human beings, and I like that. But part of the problem is they focus on a lot of these references that might be either really mainstream or really obscure, and if people identify with this, they think, oh, that applies to me. I must be a nerd too. And then they walk around with the image thing. where it's not a lifestyle, it's just a brand you're wearing.
Yeah, a brand, or like you're gonna wear a Sheldon t-shirt that says Bazinga and you think you're a nerd suddenly.
Yeah. Like the sudden influx of superhero t-shirts that came out once the show got big.
Yeah, you see them still constantly at HMVs and stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Well, before Big Bang got big, you still had the shirts. I mean,
but you didn't have them in the mainstream stores. You didn't have them in places like HMV.
Well, not HMV, but you saw them at like places like Blue Notes. You had them at like
occasionally.
Yeah. Occasionally, yes, but Blue Notes has a rotation of shirts that they come out with every couple of months, though.
Yeah.
Now, anytime you go into an HMV, you'll always see some kind of superhero shirt, be it Green Lantern, Superman, Flash. Yeah, all because at one point or another, Sheldon wore it.
Mm-hmm. It's
true.
How it goes.
Well, again, it has its qualities that are good. It's got qualities that are questionable, you can say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall, it's a really fun show, and if you haven't seen it yet, we all highly recommend it.
Yeah, because even though we are somewhat bashing it a bit, again,
we're bashing the culture that it spawned, not the show itself.
It's a really good show. It's a form of entertainment that entertains.
Yeah. The thing is, what's nice is they made a nerd-based show that you don't need to be a nerd or a geek to really enjoy.
Well, there's some undertones where you have to get the references.
Yes, there are, but those aren't the main jokes. Those are more, if you know the reference, you get an extra laugh in the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty much.
But of course, the bad side is you get the people that, if you suddenly claim that they do get the reference when they have absolutely no fucking clue what's going on.
Basically, I'm hating on bandwagon people.
Yeah.
Because they...
Bandwagoners.
Exactly.
They're just easy to shoot.
They take
because
something
wagons move so slowly.
They take something that is not just near and dear to you, but basically it's been a part of your life and part of your identity. And they cling to it because it's something big. And then when the next big thing comes around, they change their tune.
Watch.
Yeah, I mean, once Big Bang is off the air, who knows when that is, they renewed up until the 9th season now.
Oh, wow.
Hey, you never know. Flat bottom shoes and going to the discotheque is probably going to be the next thing that comes back. If you don't know this right now, he's knocking on wood.
Oh, yes. Deodorant sales are going to go down.
Yeah, we don't want that, Bark. Please no.
Just saying. Giving out an example.
I don't care.
We have the fashion trends out to make a new set of BGs. Men's pants have never been tighter.
Yeah, well, music
except in Italy.
Well, that's going to be a lot of...
Music seems to be going backwards anyways, but again, other times.
That's another whole group of sterile men for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
You can tell by the way I use my voice and never having children.
Anyway, we'll move on. I think we're done.
Yeah. I think it's a good time to take a small break right now.
Yeah.
So we will be back soon.
And boy, do we got our segment for you later on. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. It's going to have evil tones. But we'll see.
Enjoy.